busy 6 to 9 months. Tell us about what you've been up to and what you've been up to here through Optimum.
So yeah, probably since I last spoke to you, we've been doing a lot of different things. So spent a lot of time this year with British touring cars. So I've been working with Will Powell and his first season at Team Hard Racing. Interesting year, difficult year for both myself and him. Kind of difficult for him to get used to racing and different level and challenges and things in and out the car. And then I've spent a lot of time helping and supporting Will from physically to treatment on the bed, mentally preparing, warm-up exercises, diet and nutrition over a weekend. We had a weekend, I think it was in Norwich, where temperature in the car reached like 75 degrees. So we had a lot of challenges throughout the year. But it's been great, and hopefully on to next year and see what that brings British touring cars. But also working still at St George's Park, spending a lot of time there working with the PFA and supporting injured players throughout their rehab. Could be from day one all the way through to sort of late stage. Could be ACLs, Achilles, a lot of lower body stuff naturally with the football.
And what teams are those players from?
Or anything, so it could be Championship down to probably League 2, even lower than that, non-league. It tends to be for a lot of players that are without support or teams have got less support, so rather than the Premiership clubs, sort of Championship and below really, where there's limited resources at the club to support those injured players.
Okay. And you've also gone back into the classroom. You've become an associate director at the University of Derby. How did that come about? So you started it already?
So I started probably 6, 7, 8 weeks ago now. It's been going great. Really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. So I'm doing half a day once a week, working with the second year's sports therapy students. So going back to the course that I did 10 plus years ago.
Right.
It's great sitting the other side of the fence and trying to give knowledge back on what I learned and what I've learned out of the classroom as well. So through career and different sports and experiences and different things you see, and trying to feed that back into some of the new students coming through. It's been a great opportunity and something that kind of came about probably back end of the summer. Applied, went through the interview process and got the job from there.
How rewarding has it been to pass your knowledge on to some other people and then actually see them using it themselves? Yeah,
it's great. So a bit like Ben working here, it's great to pass information on to him because I get the direct feedback then maybe from a client, but also similar sort of scenario with the guys there. Week on week, they build on what they've learned and they start to put into practice the things that we've talked about and practiced and do a lot of practical sessions and rehabilitation exercises. So week on week they pick up those skills and move on. It's great.
Okay, and back to the clinic here at Optimum Derby. What's some of the most common injuries you've dealt with over the last few months? Yeah,
so probably the last 5 6 months has been a mixed bag really. So we've had quite a few Achilles issues, so whether that's been a rupture or Achilles tendinopathy, so something that's been nagging on for a while, and that tends to be, so far it tends to be in runners this year. I think people are kind of getting back to their normal training routines post-COVID, so the marathon training started back up again for a lot of people and people are getting back out running and cycling and triathlon work and football clubs are all starting back up again. So but a couple of serious shoulder injuries, like a rotator cuff issue, and then working with some of the motorbike guys and the motocross guys, a couple of dislocations. Wide range of injuries from different limbs and different spectrums of problems, whether it's quite serious or not so serious and not so limited, but still a nagging problem that's there.
Yeah. The business is nicely set up here in Derby now, nice stream of customers, you've been extremely busy. What are the core values that drive you in the business here at Optimum?
Yeah, so the core values haven't really changed since probably day one really at Optimum. Things have kind of stayed the same. We continue to work and try and find the source of the problem and see what's really causing the issue, and try and get to the heart of that rather than sort of just plough on. If it's a hamstring pain, it might not be a hamstring problem, it might be coming from somewhere else. So finding the root of the problem is always the most important bit, and that might just be what we do in the first session with a few limited little exercise and treatments to work on. Also, I think that explanation back to the patient is really important. And then after that, it's a follow-up, so it might be 2, 3, 4 weeks down the line. Here's some exercise I want you to go and do. Catch up in 2, 3 weeks' time once you're better at those. But in the meantime, text me, call me, if you've got any issues, struggling with any of them, just by all means get in touch. And we always try and video the exercises during the session as well, so patients and know what to work on and what the right technique should look like and how many reps and sets.
Okay.
But then sometimes it might not be for 2-3 weeks. Come back then once you're better at them, once you can do them.
Tom, you got into a partnership with Pork and Pickles, supporting those guys.
Yeah.
Why and how much fun is that?
Yeah, it's great fun. So Pork and Pickle, it's a group of friends that we always used to play 11-a-side together. When we finished playing 11-a-side, we decided to set up a small 5-a-side team, and we play locally, just 5-a-side down at Willows, and I agreed to sponsor the shirts and put Optimum on the front. It's a great laugh. Martin, who manages the social media, he's always sort of pulling clips up from the football and from the games, so all our games actually get clipped and the goals get clipped, so there's some funny moments, some howlers and some great goals. And then recently we played an 11-a-side game, so we all got our proper kit back on and went and played 11-a-side against the Wolfpack, a barber, Johnny, who we used to all play 11-a-side with. He's doing sort of a charity game once a month, so he invited us and we raised some money for Orla's charity. I think all in all from the game, I think we raised about £750–800, and that goes into the bigger pot for supporting Orla and her foundation. So it's been a great laugh.
And that partnership is, you treat local community here, you're making partnerships with the local community, and presumably you're open to approach you some other people who'd be interested in partnering with Optimum.
Absolutely. Ben's recently been doing some work with Mickle the Joggers and doing some rehabilitation work with them up at the Mickle Sports Centre. And that might be a running session based around exercises to reduce their injuries or to improve their performance. So that's something that came about from a discussion I had maybe 12–18 months ago. But by all means, same sort of partnerships with tennis clubs, squash clubs, cricket clubs. Yeah, it's great to build little partnerships and have those discussions with people about how things are going and how things are progressing. It's nice.
And you've also partnered, Tom, with Pure Ionic Water. Why is that?
So Pure Ionic Water are a filtration-based company. They got in touch through working with them previously through different sports and different things, and actually it was really eye-opening about what they were doing and how they were testing the water that was coming out the tap and what was in it, and basically filtering the water possibly at source, so you could, as soon as it enters a house or enters a building, you could filter it there and add things back in if you wanted to. So if you wanted to add iron or different electrolytes back in, knowing what your body needs. And that can be then portable, so it can be in a small little plastic box, and that can be taken to different sports venues, can be taken abroad. I believe England Rugby used it over the summer when they were away, and the cricket also used it over the summer whilst they were away as a trial, to see how they got on. And you could run a hose pipe from any tap, 25 metres, plug it into the box, and then filtered water comes out the other end. So it really doesn't take that much resource or space or equipment. The filters need changing every so often, but it's great. And I think we're going to try to use it for British touring cars next year to give us clean water and reduce the amount of plastic and bottles that we're using, and start to use sort of proper metal containers and aluminium bottles.